The atmosphere surrounding Ryan Garcia's latest weigh-in was electric, charged with the kind of chaotic energy that has come to define his public persona. The event, a prelude to his highly anticipated welterweight clash against Rolly Romero at Times Square, was anything but routine. Garcia, known for his explosive speed and power, stepped onto the scale at a precise 147 pounds, hitting the welterweight limit without issue, a marked improvement from past weigh-ins where he struggled to make weight. Romero, his opponent, came in just under at 146.8 pounds, setting the stage for a 12-round showdown billed as Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves. But the weigh-in was less about numbers and more about the spectacle that unfolded, a microcosm of the drama that has followed Garcia throughout his career. The tension between Garcia and Romero had been building for weeks, fueled by a steady stream of trash talk and personal jabs. Romero, never one to shy away from verbal sparring, had been poking at Garcia, questioning his focus and even his commitment to the sport. Garcia, for his part, seemed unfazed, at least outwardly. He spoke with the confidence of a man who knows his strengths, emphasizing his explosiveness and hunger. "I'm feeling how I always feel, just focused," he said during fight week, his words laced with the adrenaline of a man on the cusp of battle. Yet, beneath the bravado, there was a sense that Garcia was navigating uncharted waters, balancing his desire to prove himself against a backdrop of personal and professional turmoil. The weigh-in itself was a powder keg waiting to ignite. After stepping off the scale, Garcia and Romero faced off for what was supposed to be a final, ceremonial stare-down before fight night. Romero, however, had other plans. He unleashed a torrent of insults, aiming to get under Garcia's skin. The verbal barrage was nothing new. Romero had been relentless in his taunting since the fight was announced, but what happened next crossed a line. As the two men stood nose to nose, Romero spat on Garcia, an act that sent shockwaves through the crowd and instantly escalated the situation. Garcia, known for his quick temper as much as his quick hands, didn't hesitate. He shoved Romero with such force that the former WBA super lightweight champion stumbled backward and fell off the stage, crashing to the floor in a heap. The crowd erupted, a mix of gasps and cheers filling the air as security rushed to intervene. Romero, visibly shaken but defiant, was helped to his feet by his team, while Garcia was quickly ushered away, his point made. The incident was a stark reminder of Garcia's volatility, a trait that has both endeared him to fans and drawn criticism from detractors. Social media exploded in the aftermath, with fans dissecting every moment of the altercation. One wrote, "Ryan Garcia just threw Romero off the stage like a rag doll. Guess he's not messing around." Another, a staunch Garcia supporter, added, "Rolly Romero got what was coming to him, been running his mouth for weeks. Garcia's got the fire in his eyes." The sentiment was clear. Garcia was not here to play games. The brawl, while dramatic, was only part of the story. Garcia's focus during the weigh-in seemed to waver, his attention drifting to a potential rematch with Devin Haney, a fight he's been vocal about wanting since his controversial victory over Haney in 2024. That bout, which ended in a no contest after Garcia failed a post-fight drug test, remains a sore spot for both fighters. Garcia's comments about Haney, and Haney's father, Bill, drew significant attention, with Garcia boldly claiming he wanted to put a whooping on both. "I'm going to do the same thing just like I did last time," he said, his tone half-joking but unmistakably confident. "Maybe we could run it back in New York, too. Why not?" Romero, understandably, took offense to Garcia's divided attention. The spit, many speculated, was his way of forcing Garcia to focus on the task at hand. It was a risky move, one that backfired spectacularly when Garcia's shove sent him tumbling. Yet, Romero's actions underscored the stakes of the fight. For him, this was more than just another bout. It was the biggest fight of his career, a chance to prove himself against one of boxing's brightest stars. "It's a historic night," Romero said. "It means everything." A loss to Garcia could derail his career, limiting his opportunities to headline major events. He knows this, and his intensity during the face-off reflected the weight of that reality. Garcia, on the other hand, appeared almost serene in the days leading up to the fight, a stark contrast to the chaos of 2024. That year had been a whirlwind for the 26-year-old, marked by personal struggles, including substance abuse, and a public spiral that saw him banned by the World Boxing Council for a series of offensive social media posts. His behavior, once dismissed as trolling, had crossed into dangerous territory, alienating some fans and raising questions about his mental health. Yet, Garcia emerged from his year-long suspension with a renewed sense of purpose. Speaking on the Ariel Helwani show, he reflected on his tumultuous journey. "I don't regret anything in my life," he said. "I just take everything as okay. I learned from that moment. That's not the way to go." His preparation for the Romero fight was a testament to that shift. Garcia spoke of adopting a more professional mindset, one focused on discipline and precision. "You got to be on point with everything if you want to be the best fighter in the world," he said. Gone was the bloated, unfocused version of Garcia who had struggled to make weight in the past. He hadn't touched alcohol since training camp began, and his physique reflected the change. Yet some, including Bill Haney, were quick to point out that Garcia looked smaller and flabby compared to previous fights. Garcia brushed off the criticism, acknowledging that his last fight had been marred by poor preparation. "I was drinking. I was bloated," he admitted. "Last fight, I waited till literally the last day. I was 14 pounds over." Romero, meanwhile, was preparing for war. The 29-year-old has faced his share of setbacks, including losses to Gervonta Davis and Isaac Cruz, but he remains a dangerous opponent, known for his power and aggressive style. He believes Garcia's vaunted left hook, while formidable, pales in comparison to the punches he absorbed from Ismael Barroso in 2023. That fight, a controversial victory for Romero, left a lasting impression. "That dude had cinder blocks in his hands," Romero said of Barroso. "Garcia's power doesn't even compare." His confidence stems from their early sparring sessions, where he claims to have gotten the better of a younger, smaller Garcia. Garcia, however, dismissed the relevance of those sessions, noting the years that have passed and his own evolution as a fighter. The stylistic matchup promises fireworks. Garcia's speed and precision will be tested against Romero's relentless pressure and power. Romero tends to come out swinging from the opening bell, a strategy that could exploit any lingering vulnerabilities from Garcia's loss to Davis in 2023, where he struggled to handle the power of a heavy hitter. Garcia, however, is banking on his ability to land the unseen shot, the kind that has dropped opponents in the past. "It's all about setting him up for a shot," he said, his confidence unshaken. For fans, the fight is a clash of personalities as much as styles. Garcia, with his massive social media following and Hollywood charisma, is a polarizing figure, loved by some for his raw talent and reviled by others for his antics. Romero, less polished but equally brash, has carved out a niche as a fighter who thrives on chaos. Their interactions, from the weigh-in brawl to their verbal sparring, have only heightened the anticipation. "Romero's got heart, but Garcia is the better fighter," one fan wrote online. "This is going to be epic." As fight night approaches, both men are acutely aware of what's at stake. For Garcia, it's a chance to reclaim his place among boxing's elite, to prove that his win over Haney was no fluke and that he's capable of sustaining the professionalism he's promised. For Romero, it's an opportunity to upset the odds, to show that he belongs in the same conversation as Garcia and the sport's other top names. The stage, Times Square, under the bright lights of a DAZN pay-per-view, couldn't be bigger. Garcia's journey to this moment has been anything but linear. From his meteoric rise as a teenage prospect to the controversies that threatened to derail his career, he's faced challenges that would have broken lesser fighters. Yet, there's a resilience to Garcia, a refusal to be defined by his mistakes. "I just kind of want to keep myself more professional and be the best fighter I can be," he said, his words carrying the weight of someone who's seen the edge and chosen to step back. Romero, too, has his own narrative. His losses have tested his resolve, but his belief in his power and his ability to shock the world remains unshaken. "I've been in the ring with Ryan," he said, dismissing Garcia's threat. "Not even close." Whether that confidence holds up in the face of Garcia's speed and precision remains to be seen. As the final hours tick down to fight night, the boxing world is buzzing with anticipation. Will Garcia deliver the knockout he's promised, or will Romero's power prove too much? One thing is certain, when these two step into the ring, the chaos of the weigh-in will be a distant memory, replaced by the raw, unfiltered intensity of two fighters with everything to prove.